Whoever told you that you can't find a reliable car for under $5,000 either doesn't know what they're talking about or doesn't want you to. Because the truth is, there's a small group of cars so overbuilt, so insanely dependable, that even with a shoestring budget, you could drive one for another decade without breaking a sweat. These aren't clunkers or Craigslist nightmares. These are the underdogs, machines that quietly embarrassed luxury brands and outlived their own reputations. Today, we're revealing 13 of the smartest cars you can buy when you're broke. Cars that refuse to die, barely cost anything to maintain, and prove that being smart beats being rich. And if you think you've seen them all, wait until you see the last one. It's a luxury car that humbled Lexus owners for under $5,000. Let's start with a small SUV that became a legend for one reason: it just won't quit. At first glance, the early 2000s RAV4 doesn't look like much. It's small, simple, and almost too humble to grab attention. But beneath that modest design hides one of the most over-engineered SUVs Toyota ever built. The 2004 to 2005 RAV4 wasn't trying to be flashy. It was built to outlast. With its 2.4-liter four-cylinder engine, this compact SUV has proven to hit 300,000 miles and keep going like it's nothing. And here's the wild part. Owners still rate it nearly perfect, with a 4.9 out of 5 score on Edmunds. That's not nostalgia. That's engineering done right. Despite being nearly 2 decades old, it had safety tech that was ahead of its time. Multi-stage front and side airbags, and full-length curtain protection that rivaled some luxury cars. It's small enough to park anywhere, but tough enough to survive winters, potholes, and neglect. And the best part? You can find one today for under $5,000. That's a tenth of what you'd pay for a modern compact SUV with the same reliability. The RAV4's biggest weakness? It's so good, most owners refuse to sell. So if you see one for sale, grab it fast, because the next car on this list takes reliability and turns it into something strangely genius. This one's weird, in the best possible way. When Honda dropped the Element in the early 2000s, people didn't know what to make of it. Was it an SUV? A van? A refrigerator on wheels? Turns out it was all three. And that's what made it brilliant. The Element was powered by the same bulletproof K24 engine found in the legendary Civic Si and Accord, an engine famous for running well past 300,000 miles with nothing more than oil changes. But it wasn't just reliable, it was geniusly practical. Fold every seat flat, and suddenly you had a small apartment on wheels. Take out the headrests, and all 4 seats lie down to create a flat bed. Honda even gave it waterproof floors and stain-resistant materials, so you could literally hose out the interior after a weekend camping trip. It was built for adventure before number van life was even a thing. Sure, the fuel economy wasn't great, around 19 city, 23 highway. But owners didn't care. This car was freedom on a budget, and it earned a cult following that still hasn't died, even a decade after production ended. Today, the Element is one of the few used cars you can buy, beat up, clean out, and still sell for almost the same price years later. It's weird, it's boxy, it's beautiful. And the next car takes that same Toyota DNA and hides it inside a completely different badge. Most people don't realize this, but Toyota and General Motors once built the same car. One wore a Toyota badge, the other said Pontiac. But under the skin, they were identical, built side by side, powered by the same bulletproof Toyota engine. The Toyota Matrix and Pontiac Vibe were the definition of hidden gems. These compact hatchbacks were efficient, reliable, and surprisingly fun to drive. Both ran Toyota's 1.8-liter four-cylinder engine, capable of lasting well beyond 250,000 miles with basic maintenance. The 5-speed manual version even squeezed out an incredible 36 miles per gallon on the highway. better than many brand new SUVs today. The Matrix had that classic Toyota feel. Simple, practical, indestructible. But the Pontiac vibe? That was the insider's trick. Because it looked American, you could often find one cheaper. Yet it was 100% Toyota under the hood. Talk about gaming the system. Owners loved the tall driving position, the cargo space, and the feeling that these cars could take abuse for years. J.D. Power rated the Vibe an 86 out of 100 for quality and reliability. An absurd score for a car most people overlook. Sure, the cabin's a little noisy, and it's not winning any drag races. But when you can pick one up for under $5,000 and drive it another decade, that's not a car. That's an investment. And speaking of investments, the next car on our list proves you can buy real luxury on a broke guy budget. Just because your wallet's tight doesn't mean you can't drive something that feels expensive. The Lexus ES330 was the car that made people realize luxury didn't have to come with a brutal price tag. And today, it's one of the smartest used car buys under $5,000. This fourth generation ES came packed with everything Lexus stood for: refinement, silence, and that buttery smooth V6 that feels more like a glide than a drive. Its 3.3-liter engine pumps out 218 horsepower. But what really matters is how it delivers it. Effortlessly, quietly, and reliably. Owners regularly report these cars crossing 400,000 to 500,000 miles with basic upkeep. That's Rolls-Royce comfort with Toyota reliability. Step inside and you'll find soft-touch materials everywhere. A cabin so quiet it feels sealed from the outside world, and seats that make long drives feel like therapy. Even the suspension tuning was designed to absorb the worst city roads without a single squeak. Sure, some models had cosmetic quirks, a cracked dashboard here, a worn sensor there, but those are quick fixes. The powertrain itself is nearly bulletproof. The best part? You can buy one right now for less than the cost of a new iPhone. And here's the twist. People mock Toyota for playing it safe with cars like this. But that same boring reliability turned into their biggest superpower. Because the next car on this list, it's the one Toyota built when they stopped trying to impress critics and just built something to outlive us all. If there's one word that defines Toyota's early 2000s lineup, it's immortal. The Camry and Corolla from this era aren't just reliable, they're practically eternal. These cars became living proof that Toyota's boring design philosophy was actually genius. While other brands chased style and speed, Toyota chased perfection and accidentally created two cars that just won't die. Let's start with the Camry. Critics in 2006 said it looked dull, uninspired, and safe. 2 decades later, that boring sedan is still quietly racking up hundreds of thousands of miles, while the flashy competition rusts in junkyards. Its 2.4-liter four-cylinder engine is the unsung hero here. Simple, strong, and unstoppable. Some owners have driven these cars past 400,000 miles without ever needing major repairs. And if you want more power, the optional V6 gives you all the punch you'll ever need, though at the cost of fuel economy. Then there's the Corolla. The 9th generation, 2002 to 2007, is often called the best Corolla ever made. Toyota refined everything: bigger cabin, smoother suspension, upgraded materials, and a 1.8-liter engine that's as close to indestructible as it gets. It wasn't fast, but it was efficient, up to 41 miles per gallon on the highway. Numbers that still compete with modern hybrids. These cars don't break down, they just wear in. And when something finally does go wrong, parts are dirt cheap and everywhere. It's why used Corollas and Camrys from this generation are like gold, especially if you find one owned by someone's grandma who only drove it on Sundays. But what if you want something tougher? Something that doesn't just survive city life, but laughs at mud, snow, and rocky trails? The next car on our list brings rugged capability into the $5,000 world, and it's one of the most overlooked off-road legends ever made. If you live anywhere that gets real winters, this next car is your best friend. The Subaru Forester isn't just a car, it's a survival tool. Built for people who actually use their vehicles, the Forester became famous for one simple reason: it doesn't care what's under its tires. The 2007 to 2008 models, part of Subaru's third generation, came with the brand's signature Boxer engine, a flat-four layout that keeps the center of gravity low, and the handling surprisingly sharp for an SUV this size. Pair that with Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive, and you've got one of the most capable sub-$5,000 vehicles ever made. Mud, gravel, snow, black ice. It chews through all of it. And despite that ruggedness, the Forester never feels crude. The ride is comfortable, visibility is excellent, and reliability nearly unmatched. J.D. Power gave the 2008 model an 88 out of 100 for quality and dependability, the same score as some luxury brands. With a modest 173 horsepower, it's no rocket ship, but it can tow 2,400 pounds, haul all your gear, and still return decent mileage. Think of it as the anti-S UV SUV. Light, efficient, and unstoppable. Sure, the handling's not sports car tight, but that's not the point. This is a car that can climb a snow-covered mountain, drive home, and still get you to work the next morning. And if you love versatility, but prefer something a little sportier, with better fuel economy and a sharper edge, the next car might surprise you. It's the compact underdog that gave budget buyers something they never expected: real driving fun. Most cheap cars feel like appliances. You turn them on, they move, they stop. Nothing more. But the Mazda 3? This thing had personality. And that's what made it special. Between 2007 and 2009, Mazda quietly built one of the most balanced budget cars on the market. The first generation Mazda 3 came with sharp steering, tight suspension, and a lightweight body that made even short drives feel exciting. It wasn't the fastest car, but it felt alive, and that's something you can't fake. Under the hood, you could choose from a 1.6 liter, 2.0 liter, or 2.3 liter engine, all of them reliable workhorses. The smaller engines sipped fuel, up to 35 miles per gallon on the highway, while the 2.3 liter gave just enough punch to make your morning commute a little more fun. Even better, these engines regularly cross 200,000 miles with basic maintenance. But the magic wasn't just mechanical. The interior was sporty and clean, with materials that aged gracefully, a big deal for a car in this price range. And because so many were sold, replacement parts are cheap and easy to find. The only thing you'll want to watch for is the turbo version. It's fun, but prone to oil leaks. Stick with the naturally aspirated models, and you'll have a car that's light on gas, strong on performance, and way more entertaining than it has any right to be. Still, if you're more into quiet comfort than spirited cornering, the next car flips the script, a forgotten Japanese sedan that delivers bulletproof reliability and long-distance comfort for pennies on the dollar. If the Toyota Camry is the teacher's pet, the Mitsubishi Galant is the quiet kid who aces every test and still gets ignored. Once a proud name in Japanese sedans, the Galant was built to last. But by the late 2000s, it had completely fallen off the public radar. And that's exactly why it's such a steal today. The 2009 to 2010 Galant came with a 2.4-liter four-cylinder engine that may not sound like much, but it's the same engine platform Mitsubishi used in their rally cars. It's simple, strong, and ridiculously dependable. Paired with a 4-speed automatic and front-wheel drive, it quietly delivers 25 miles per gallon in the city and up to 30 on the highway. numbers that still beat some newer sedans. No fancy gimmicks, no overcomplicated tech. Just an honest, well-built car that refuses to quit. And because everyone forgot about it, the resale value tanked, meaning you can grab one for well under $5,000 and get years of stress-free driving out of it. The Galant isn't flashy, it's not fast, but it's the kind of car that starts every morning, shrugs off neglect, and keeps going long after others give up. Think of it as the backup plan that never fails. But if reliability isn't enough, if you want that same bulletproof engineering plus modern tech and hybrid efficiency, the next car was a total game changer. It proved that going green could finally be fun. And now, it's cheaper than ever. Before Tesla made electric cars cool, Ford quietly built something revolutionary, and most people didn't even notice. The 2010 Ford Fusion Hybrid wasn't just another mid-size sedan. It was Ford's "I told you so" moment to the entire industry. After years of being mocked for gas guzzlers, they dropped a hybrid so efficient, so refined, it beat the Prius in real-world driving tests. Under the hood was a 2.5-liter four-cylinder engine, paired with an electric motor for a combined 192 horsepower. It could cruise silently through traffic, sip fuel like a miser, and still pull off 0 to 60 in under 9 seconds. But here's the best part. It returned a mind-blowing 41 miles per gallon in the city and 36 on the highway. That's right, a 15-year-old Ford doing hybrid numbers that rival modern Toyotas. The Fusion Hybrid wasn't just efficient, it was comfortable. It came with push-button start, a smooth CVT transmission, and one of the quietest cabins Ford had ever built. And because it didn't rely on a plug-in system, maintenance costs stayed low. Back in 2010, this car was considered expensive. Now you can find one for under $5,000. And unlike many budget hybrids, this one's proven itself. With regular maintenance, these engines routinely pass 250,000 miles and keep going strong. It was proof that American innovation could compete with Japanese reliability, and in some cases, surpass it. But what if you took all that hybrid tech, wrapped it in real luxury, and added more power than some sports cars? That's exactly what Lincoln did next. And it became the ultimate broke butt ballin' car. Picture this. You pull up to a stoplight in a car that looks, feels, and drives like a luxury cruiser. The person next to you assumes you dropped $40,000 on it. You just smile because you paid less than $5,000. The Lincoln MKZ is proof that being broke doesn't mean driving boring. When it debuted, it shocked reviewers with its build quality, comfort, and quiet power. But the price tag scared people off. Fast forward to today. Depreciation turned that once too expensive luxury car into one of the best kept secrets in the used market. The non-hybrid version came with a 3.5-liter V, 6-engine pushing 263 horsepower and 249 pound-feet of torque, more muscle than most brand new crossovers. Step on the gas, and this car moves like it's twice the price. Yet it still delivers a respectable 27 miles per gallon on the highway. Inside, the MKZ feels premium in every way. Rich leather seats, wood trim, chrome accents, and a cabin so insulated it could rival a Lexus. Even the sound system feels extravagant. This was Lincoln trying to prove that American luxury could stand toe-to-toe with the imports. And honestly, they nailed it. J.D. Power gave the 2012 MKZ an astonishing 89 out of 100 for reliability, the highest score of any car on this entire list. And that's for a luxury model that once sold for over $35,000 new. Sure, it's not the most fuel-efficient ride, but what it lacks in mileage, it makes up for in pure satisfaction. It's the definition of balling on a budget. So the next time someone tells you that you can't afford luxury, show them a used Lincoln MKZ and let the engine do the talking. Because here's the truth. In the car world, smart always beats rich. And if you thought this list was impressive, Wait until you see what's coming next. We're diving into the 13 most reliable cars ever made, vehicles that keep running when everything else falls apart. Click now to discover the cars that refuse to die, and find out which one could outlast even the new ones rolling off the lot today.